Week 8 of Super Rugby is on the horizon. Our Sport 24 editor, Garen, is joining me in studio to give us all of his predictions. Garen, it's going to be another busy Saturday this weekend.
Morning, Jen. Indeed it is. They've got 4 South African matches this coming weekend, all taking place on Saturday, bizarrely, so nothing on Friday. But it's the halfway point of the tournament, Week 8, with 16 matches scheduled in total. The first game is the Bulls away from home against the Hurricanes. They're off on their tour of Australasia, play their first game in Wellington against the Hurricanes. Hurricanes coming off a good win over the Crusaders last weekend, so the Bulls won't have it all their own way. Typically when you go on tour, the first week is when you're excited and you haven't picked up any injuries yet. Yeah. You're excited to be out the country, away from the South African media. So the Bulls will certainly be up for this game, but it won't be easy. The Hurricanes have got a lot to play for in their division. So I'm not predicting with any certainty that the Bulls are going to win. I'd like to say they're going to. Again, we've talked a lot in the past about the home team. In these 50-50 games, the home team sort of like either the ref favouring the home team or the crowd support pulling the home team through in the dying seconds of the game. So I'm unfortunately going to go for a Hurricanes victory by about 2 or 3 points. Unfortunately for all the Bulls fans that were watching this at the moment. But I'm going to go for a Hurricanes victory, hoping obviously that I'm wrong. But by 2 or 3 points, the Hurricanes to win that first match of the Bulls' away tour.
Okay, great. So that's first match. Let's hear your predictions for match number 2, which is going to be here in South Africa. Okay,
now I've got 3 more games back in South Africa. It's a real bumper Saturday afternoon. You've got 3 o'clock, 5:05 and 7:10 kickoffs all in South Africa. So if you're a rugby fan, it's like a day made in heaven for you.
Park yourself at the local bar.
Or on your couch, close the front door, switch off the phone and watch. So the first game is the Cheetahs back in Bloemfontein against the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs last weekend drew with the Bulls at Loftus Versfeld, the high scoring game, 34-all. They played really well in the beginning and the dying moments of the game, and I expect something similar in Bloemfontein. You got the Cheetahs team back in South Africa, and they had a bye last weekend, so they'll be like reacclimatized, if you like, to Bloemfontein, well rested, a couple of players over their injuries, so they'll be up for this game. I expect another high-scoring game. Both teams love to throw the ball around, not much emphasis placed on defense, more on attack. Again, if it's 30s or in the 40s, the scoreline, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think the Chiefs, they've got more to play for. They'll be happy with the 3 points they picked up against the Bulls last week, and I think they'll be targeting another victory against the Cheetahs. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually get it. The Cheetahs team just not nearly as good as they were last season when they were like the surprise package, if you like, in the South African Conference. They've just come back from the overseas tour where they lost every game as well. So I'm not expecting great things from them, unfortunately. I think the Chiefs will win this one, and I think it's going to be perhaps by 7 or 8 points, maybe like a converted try. So a bad start to proceedings for the South African teams again, as we've said many times, unfortunately, in round 8.
All right, and what about game 3? I hope the news is going to get better, but I don't know.
No, unfortunately not. You've got a Lions team playing at home. They're playing fantastic rugby. Talking about the Lions, obviously first, they've been a little bit fortunate in the past few games. A lot of controversial referee decisions which have gone in their favour. So they've won more games than they've lost. But they could easily
more games than we've expected them to win.
Far more already, at this stage of the tournament. So, but they've been fairly fortunate, and I think their luck's going to run out in this match against the Crusaders, who, when looking at them, they've won the tournament 7 times, but they've really struggled this season to gel as a combination. They're missing some really key players. Richie McCaw, Dan Carter's on a sabbatical. They're 2 of the best players in the world, but they've been ruled out through injury and this sabbatical that I talked about. So they're struggling to put any cohesiveness together on the field. They've got individual players that are brilliant in their positions, but they're just struggling to play sort of as a team. But I think, away from home, again, away from the New Zealand media who have had a go at them every week so far, they'll be far better. They'll be happy at the altitude. They like to run the ball as well, as most New Zealand teams like to. And I think that the Lions will be competitive up front, but the Crusaders do have a good pack of forwards. And I just think the experience of the Crusaders will see them through to victory in the end. Again, it's going to be a high-scoring game, I'm sure, but I don't think it'll be that many points in it. I think the Crusaders, by 5 or 6 points, should walk away winners. Hopefully for them, get their campaign sort of back with some momentum going forward, because then they've got again a fairly easy match against the Cheetahs the week after. So it's like a dream tour for any team coming to South Africa. You want to play like the Lions and the Cheetahs as your away matches and play all the tougher teams back at home. So I think they'll be looking at this game, perhaps even a 5-point bonus point try victory for them.
Okay, great. And game 4.
Game 4, you know, we've predicted woe for the South African teams, and I'm not 100% sure it's going to get any better in the last game.
Garen.
But
Maybe.
we're hoping. Obviously, from a Stormers point of view, we're certainly hoping. But you got the Stormers back at home after, again, a woeful tour where they lost everything away, the first time since 1996, or 1998, sorry. So they're back at Newlands. They've got 10 matches left, 7 of them at home. Again, we've talked about the home team being the favourite, so they should start as favourites in more games than not in the remaining campaign for them. But they're playing against a Waratahs team that were pretty average against the Sharks last weekend. I don't expect them to be nearly as bad, and I expect them to have their star fullback, Israel Folau, back, who's the leading try scorer in this tournament to date. So he'll add some attacking flair to them. They've got a good record against the Stormers at Newlands. They sort of like being down on the coast. So it's going to be a titanic battle. You know, the Stormers have lost Joe Aplon, one of their X-Factor players. He's out with a dislocated elbow. So the injury toll is really mounting for the Stormers. And they actually just announced a new director of rugby this week. So there are a lot of backroom changes as well at the Stormers, perhaps deflecting the tension away from what's happening on the field.
Yeah.
So not expecting fantastic things, unfortunately, from the Stormers. I'm going to give it to them in prediction, but again with no degree of certainty. It hurts me to bet against the Stormers. I think, again, on paper, it should be like a 50-50 game. It could go anywhere, depending on like a drop goal, controversial referee decision. It's one of those 50-50 games, really. But I'm going to give it to the Stormers again. Hopefully the fans really turn out in the droves. The Stormers haven't been at home for quite some time now, so the fans will be looking forward to seeing their players in the flesh, if you like, in front of them. So Stormers by 2 or 3 points, with fingers crossed.
Okay, well, I know you guys do great live updates. And fans who are going to be at any of the 3 South African games can share their photos with us. How can they do that? Absolutely. You know, the easiest way is to visit sport24.co.za. Our live updates have been tremendously popular to date, both on the website and on your mobile phones. If you're going to any of the matches in Bloemfontein or Johannesburg or Cape Town, certainly send your pictures through. We put together a gallery every Monday morning, and we'd love to include your pictures in that.